Hey friends, Nature's calling with the new Sims 4 Enchanted by Nature expansion pack. New skills, gnomes, fairies, and magical builds await. But before you grab your copy, consider applying my creator code at checkout. Thanks to EA's Support a Creator program, if you type in Symtherin, I will receive a small commission. It's at no extra cost to you, and it helps me keep creating magical content. Alright, go build something cozy, and don't forget creator code Symtherin. Hey, thanks for slithering in. I am Symtherin. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome in if you are new. Today we are building something super fun and kind of on theme for the new upcoming Sims 4 Enchanted by Nature pack. We are building a little hobbit hole. Now, I have seen so many Simmers do this in the past. I've always kind of wanted to give it a go myself. And with the new pack coming up pretty soon, I was definitely really inspired to just build this little home as like a hole in the ground kind of thing. I think that's the best way to describe the vibe. So right now we are really working on making sure we get this roof line correct, and I'll be honest with you guys, this was not my first attempt at getting this build started. I went through a couple different versions of this until I landed on this one, and I'm ultimately pretty happy with it. So I hope you guys enjoy it too. We use a lot of terrain tool around the roofing to kind of make it feel like the build is more sunken into the ground, which I really like the feel of that. And then we're going to use a lot of greenery and landscaping. I do not limit any of my pack usage for this one because I just wanted everything readily available for me, but I do make sure this is a tiny home, which I thought was super fun. I'm on a very small lot here in Windenburg, by the way. This is one of my favorite lots in Windenburg. I think it's just nestled in like this woodsy, foresty area. But I mean, I guess not nestled because there was another house over there. But if you look certain angles, that's what it looks like. And you're right off the water and stuff, so it was really fun. And then I found this tree. This tree was like a reward, I think, for cottage living if you pre-ordered or purchased it within whatever allotted time period. So you may or may not have this in your game, fair warning, but I really did feel like it gives such fairy vibes, this tree, and I just have to like look at the cute little like green acorn lights. I love them, and the fairy lights wrapped around. So here I am using a debug plank, which I've used before in other builds, and I'm making like kind of a fake like stair path kind of walkway up here. It ends up not being functional on this side because of the terrain paint, and it's just kind of crowded up there, but it was definitely more of a like feature, like decorative feature that I wanted to use. And I'm using a lot of cottage living debug items for like these grassy patches and some of the landscaping as well, because cottage living has the best debug landscaping. I think I've mentioned this many times before, so sorry if I'm beating a dead horse there. And then yeah, the landscaping is going to come around, and I'm getting like this little creek, I guess I'm calling it. It's not like a full pond, but I really wanted to use this like water wheel, and in order to do that I felt like I needed to make sure there was some sort of body of water here. So I don't know, we can use our imagination. Like I said, the lot size here isn't very big, so I didn't have much room to go with and play around with. I am using this wedding arch too. I think that might be from my wedding stories, or is it also from cottage living? You guys could tell me, I don't remember, but I have seen a few other simmers use that to kind of frame the doors on these Hobbit Hole homes, so I definitely stole that idea from them, and I loved it. We're adding fairy lights, and I used a Realm of Magic door, which I feel like I need to use more often. That is such a great door. I really love it. And yeah, we're just going to finish up landscaping. More debug here with the flat garden path stones to just kind of make a pathway to the door and out into the world, I guess. What we should touch on as a group is the build by overview for the new pack. We got the create a sim overview and the build by overview. And honestly, I made a prediction that we would get the build by overview next week. And I was really surprised we got it actually at the end of this past week. At least the Friday before this video got uploaded anyway. So I was really surprised we got both spotlights in the same week. I really thought they were going to spread it out a little bit because I felt like looking at the calendar that made sense to me, but I'm actually really happy we did get some of it because now we can talk about it in this video. We have a lot of cool new windows they showed. We have some pretty looking couches with like blankets and pillows. What really stood out to me were the tree bookshelves, which is like a tree with also shelves for a bookshelf. Wow, that was a great way to explain it, wasn't it? You guys are going to have to check it out if you haven't already. And let me know what you guys think in the comments down below and what you're looking forward to for the build by. The Create a Sim stuff was pretty cool too. We saw that we could paint the fairy wings, kind of like how we paint pets and horses and werewolves and things. So that should be super fun. And some cute outfits, I think. Honestly, I looked at it and now I can't even remember what it was, but obviously I'm primarily a builder, so that was where I was more so excited to see some updates. We'll get a gameplay trailer, I think, too. I want to say probably this upcoming week. I think June 26th, from what the official launch trailer for the pack said at the very end. So I can't wait to see more of that too and see how fairies actually work in the game. We already know it's confirmed that they're an occult type, so that is super exciting. And yeah, I cannot wait. We are continuing to landscape. We're using a lot of these like bushy plants. I forget what they're called, but they're perfect for layering on like terrain manipulation. Like if you raise the terrain, you can kind of see like the stone, and it's not a grassy like texture, it's a stone texture, and you can't paint that because of the way the elevation works and everything. So using these is a great way to kind of cover that up if that's not like the look you want. And I tend to use that a lot. I do that trick many times. Here I am trying to get some floral like on the roof, but ultimately I wasn't liking the way things were sitting and I just ended up not doing it. I tried a couple different times with a couple of different plants, but I don't know. Maybe I just wasn't being patient enough to do that. And then I always worry about that sometimes too, because if you're trying to plan a build and if those are floating above you, that's kind of annoying maybe, because I tend to like play from more of a bird's eye view most of the time, and it would be really hard for me to kind of look past that. Up on this little raised terrain part, we put a little of these small planters, which will playtest later, and I definitely love that little look. I wanted to make sure there was some area for gardening because obviously it's very nature filled build, and that's just the theme I feel like for the upcoming expansion pack as well. And now we're pulling out some debug items from Get Together. I actually really like the Get Together fencing debug options. That Get Together is the pack that comes with Windenburg, just so you know, or Windenburg comes with that pack. So it kind of fits the vibe anyway of the world. And I like that some of these fencing pieces already have some greenery on them, so it definitely helped pull that together. Now we're getting some rocks. I think I get another stone fence over here. But as you can see, our little creek or pond area just isn't super big. It's just pretty thin and narrow until you get to the back where it widens out a little bit. But even then, it's still not even that much. So maybe your sim can use it to like swim, splash around in the water a little bit. That would probably be fun. I know sims enjoy to do that. Here I'm trying to do that like little climbing effect with the floral again. I might have left it up to that point, but that's about it. I really just wanted to make sure it got blended in a little bit. But we're now moving on to the interior of the build. Again, it's very tiny, but it has everything you need. We are starting here in the kitchen, which I utilize a lot of the cottage living appliances, but then I also use these country kitchen kit. I think that was the kit name, those cabinets and counters, which I don't use quite as often. I usually tend to use horse ranch and like cottage living for these types of builds. But I really like the blue swatch in here, and I painted the walls green, which is the same wallpaper I used on the exterior. It's like a stucco. I think it might even be from like the Love Struck pack, maybe one of those. And I just thought it was fitting to kind of carry it on in here, and I definitely leaned into the greens and blues. So right now I have an island kind of piece happening, but then I decided I didn't want that anymore because I needed a sink, and I wanted to use this one in particular because it's just so cute. Just look at it with the little like curtain at the bottom to kind of hide your clutter down there. It is so adorable. And I definitely like how that turned out a little better. We're getting some more upper cabinets up here as well to kind of tie things up. We have some open shelving. We end up getting a ton of clutter in here. And in the middle, I felt like we needed something, so I put a rug and like a little end table. I think I did a round one. So this is where I start adding some kind of black tones as well in here. I just really liked how the earthy tones and the dark blues and blacks were kind of working together along with the green wallpaper, and obviously like the wooden dark brown frames of the windows and doors and arches that I end up using. So I really like that. Now we are sitting here picking out a table. I thought about doing like a booth kind of thing. I just wish those items weren't so gigantic. So we don't do that. Instead, I am using werewolves because this table looks so cute in this build. It looks very like handmade, worn down. There's even a book underneath it to kind of level out the legs, which I think is hilarious. And we pair it with like these cats and dogs chairs with the bringing in more of those dark wood tones. So I really like it. We're getting some artwork on the walls, but what I also do throughout the builds, at least this build, is on the walls I'm putting a lot of like scruffs and dirt and things because I felt like it was missing something, and once I started adding those things, it really felt like it was coming together. It gave it more of like, clearly this home is like underground or partially underground. There's going to be more dirt, you know. So that's why we also have some worn rugs. Like I got this one from Werewolves as well to put under the dining table, and it just made sense. You'll also find some spider webs around here because when you're halfway under the ground, there's going to be more bugs. You may have noticed I pulled up the traits up there, and I'm going to show you guys what traits I used later when I do the play test and walkthrough, because honestly I can't remember what I picked right now off the top of my head because it's been a minute. So you guys will learn that soon. You'll just have to stick around. That's just an excuse to do so. I wanted to add some kind of fun tiling, so I'm trying to use these from Love Struck. Once I get it positioned, I think it works pretty well, and I liked kind of using these pinkish orangish backsplash, and I thought that was really cute. It brought some more some more color into the build, and I thought it was really cute. And of course, I had to once again use more of the kitchen clutter items because I am obsessed with them, and I will never not clutter my kitchens with them unless obviously I'm doing a limited pack build. But for builds like this, I am going all out, and we even add some more things to this end table over here. We get some napkins, we get some like berries and jars and things, and overall I really love a cluttered kitchen, and this one definitely is that. And of course, I'm always going to find an excuse to clutter up my kitchens. We even put clutter over by the sink and things, but it was super fun. Hopefully you guys don't mind the corner cabinet or counter. is the one where your Sims will be able to kind of chop and prepare their food and things. So there is a place to do that. So have no fear for that. This kitchen will be functional for you if you do choose to download it off the gallery, which it is up on the gallery now under my gallery ID, Symtherin, just in case you are curious. Other than that, the rest of this home is pretty simple and follows the same color scheme, which we will talk about in a little bit because I think we'll move on to the living room soon. I do want to note that I did put the calendar on the back of the door there. I actually thought that was a fun little touch. And just so you guys know, that will not stop your Sims from using that door. It will work and it'll be perfectly okay. But moving on to the living room, this one was a little hard for me to try and figure out the layout because of where the archway is and where the front door is. And then I also have a door to like the bedroom from this room. So it was a little tricky at first, but I think we got it. The one thing that wasn't ideal is the couch being next to the fireplace like that. I tried to move it around, but it kind of is what it is. But I used this one in this dark blue swatch. This is from the Refined Living Room kit, and I actually really liked it. I tried to use the one from the Book Nook kit, but it just, I don't know, it wasn't fitting right for me or wasn't sitting right with me. And when I pulled this one out, I really liked the swatch because I felt like it brought the colors in from the kitchen a little bit, and it just looks kind of comfy, especially once you add the pillows. You're going to have to just ignore the like merge glitching in the corner there. That's just gonna happen. So unfortunately that is what it is. I tried to cover up with another pillow and even tried to use the trick with the stool from the outdoor retreat kit that has like the little blanket draped over it, but that wasn't quite working out over there either. And then we just get this little end table with a flower on it. We add some more flower clutter on top of the fireplace and then on the wall there, and we're using more Realm of Magic artwork in here too. At this point I decided I wanted to add some exposed brick here, so I do it along like the wall in the middle of the house because everything else, if I had changed it, would have affected the roof pieces. So I was not about to do that. Nope, definitely not. Over here we just get some more clutter on this like end table, and on the opposite side of this wall we are going to be adding a bookshelf. We have a Realm of Magic chair that you can already see there, and then even an end table with even more clutter. I love a cluttered build, guys. I'm going to keep saying it. But one thing I want to note is on this end table out here, I put a piece from the Sleek bathroom kit. It's like a clutter tray organizer thing, and I thought it was kind of funny that it was out here in the living room because it just doesn't make any sense. Usually you would find that in the bathroom because it has things like soap and hairbrushes and things like that, but I thought the fact that it being out here was kind of, I don't know, that might be good for like the storyline if you were playing with a sim or a sim who is a gnome and maybe they collect things, or even a fairy and maybe they don't quite know what it is, kind of like very Little Mermaid-esque. Or maybe they just sit out here and brush their hair or use it for something else out here kind of thing. But up here we are getting some trinkets, and we get that little clay ball piece, which honestly annoyed me when I was playtesting for a second because that's all my sim wanted to do was pick it up and play with it. Sims technically tend to do that a lot, so my bad. If you don't like that, I would suggest you delete it. But we have moved on now to the bedroom where I'm using this outdoor retreat bed in this nice like dark blue green swatch. I don't think I've ever used it in this swatch. I really do enjoy this bed. I've used it a ton of times, especially in like cottage builds or cabin builds or things like that nature. I then paired it with some artwork from the Werewolves expansion pack. We get artwork like that gallery wall from the Bella Gott's kit. I forget, Secret Sanctuary I think is the name of it. We're pulling it out right now because I just love the look of it and it's so pretty. So this room is like a mixture of like nature and class, I would call it, because of the fun little vintagey frames. I just love those. And then we get this little candle book tray from the Tiny Living stuff pack, this beautiful mirror from the basement kit, and this dresser from Cottage Living was the perfect swatch for this build. I felt like I don't think I've ever used it in this blue one. Maybe I have, but it just like fits so well in my opinion. And I'm adding even more clutter up here. Some towels from the sleek bathroom kit is there. And then in the little like octagon tower room esque part of this place, I was able to fit in a grandfather clock, which if you guys know, I love a good grandfather clock moment. It was one of my most excited for items for the Life and Death expansion pack was the new grandfather clock. I just love the look of it. So I was so happy I was able to fit it in here. But I kind of call this the crafting corner where there's a chair and I put, was that the knitting basket or the cross stitch? I can't remember which one I put. Cross stitch, it looks like. Yes. So there's that, but you can easily like remove things from this corner and make it your own like skill building corner. If there's like, if you want to do an art easel, you can easily put it here, or an instrument, maybe a guitar, maybe not a full piano, but you know what I mean. Or if you need like a desk area, you can definitely put like a one tile desk in this little nook and you would be good to go. So we are just getting a basket of pillows and blankets here and some more artwork and plants, and then we are going to move on to our final room of the day. I really liked mixing and matching the artwork in here too. I thought that was super fun. But our next room after we pick out a rug is going to be the bathroom. And give me a second as I resize this rug, but here we go. Now we are moving on to the bathroom. I played around with what kind of flooring I wanted to use. I was like, ooh, brick would be fun, stone would be fun, and then I think I landed on this base game one, which I really liked. And we use a lot of outdoor retreat here. So the shower is from outdoor retreat, the sink is from outdoor retreat, the toilet here is from base game, and then the layout of this build or this room is going to change a little bit. The sink I think ultimately gets closer to the toilet. I really liked using the Realm of Magic mirror here because it really feels more like nature inspired. Like it looks like tree branches framing the mirror, you know. So I really enjoyed that. But anyway, that is a wrap pretty much on the speed build portion of this today's video. I feel like I have not been able to talk very well, so if you have like stuck through it, thank you so much. It is pretty early in the morning for me and I have not had my coffee yet. I know, big mistake, but we are actually going to hop into live mode and we will be back in just a really hot second after we add some fairy lights and things. So I'll see you there soon. Alright, see, I told you it'd be a second. Before I show you around the build too much, I'm sorry, I lied. I'm going to pop back into build mode because I wanted to show you guys that this is indeed a tiny home. We have only placed 66 tiles out of 100. That makes it a, let me show you, a tier 3 small home. So just perfect for all your skill building needs. We do have some traits added to here. We have balancing breezes, gnomes, so broken things just seem to get mended overnight. Gnomes are very kind like that. We also have homey. We also added a couple of lot challenges here. We have the simple living lot challenge and the wild prairie grass challenge. Other than that, this is it in full action. We've got the little wheel here and I'm blanking on what that is technically called. There is technically a term for that. My sim changed out of her gnome costume. We're gonna have to fix that. But she's already testing things, so actually let's head inside. It looks like she has to come all the way around for some reason. I don't know what she is doing over here. Alright, she's getting some juice, apparently. Let's put the walls up. Actually, I'm going to pause. You are going to change. You're messing with the vibes, okay? There we go. Oh, so much better. Look at That is so cute. We gotta get a picture. Perfect. Well, that's the kitchen. So it looks like I don't think we can come in and out of this door. Actually, let me try going here. She keeps changing. Oh my god, will you stop? We can use that door. So maybe it's the other one we can't use? Which one is set as my front door? This one is. Okay. Well, we'll figure that out. Let me actually show you this build. That's what we are here for. Please excuse this tree. Excuse me. I guess he doesn't want to disappear. Okay, we'll look at it this way. So we have our entrance here. We walk into this little living room. Our kitchen and dining is over here. Bathroom and a bedroom. Let's start in the kitchen since we are over here. I will have our sim come in, serve some lunch or make some lunch. Let's make something. Wasn't there like a have lunch or something option here? Because now I have to load this cook option. Oh, we're on simple living. Well, I guess we should try it. Let's do a family size. Here we go. Look at that. We are prepping some food, which is always good. I actually really like how this kitchen came out. I know I used blue cabinets and counters again in another build, but I just couldn't help it. It just looks so good. I love all of the clutter we were able to add and fit in here despite it being such a small kitchen. We have the wall tiles from Love Struck used as a backsplash. Oh yeah, you can like cooking, sure. And boom, we've got that going for us. And over there is our sink. Look at that, we're sitting at the table. Oh my god, look, it's so cute. Another picture moment. Oh, okay, you're upset. I'm sorry. But you're cute. Anyway, that is our kitchen. I would assume it's pretty functional. More details I added in here were just some dirty dishes left on the side, clean dishes over here. We've got a lot of wall details like holes in the wall. There's a spider web up there with a little spider. Oh my god, that's so gross. Look at him. Okay. Boom. You want to go play with that clay thing. I knew putting that on this table here was going to suck. So now you want to cross stitch. Make up your mind. I actually want you to clean up first. And then, so for some reason you can't come through this archway. That is a bit of a problem. Let me play around with that a little bit. Maybe it's the bookshelf and like we can like squeeze it in a little bit. Maybe it's this. Hopefully it's not my plant curtain. That would actually really suck. When you're done cleaning up, let's actually see if you'll light this and if you'll come this way. Okay, whatever I did, I moved whatever needed to be moved. So that is good. I'm going to have her light it, but then I'm going to put it out right away because I don't want to deal with any potential fires here. Since we're in the living room, why don't you come and sit here? What if you sit here? You're gonna go all the way around. Is it this chair? It's either the chair or this end table. I don't know. There we go. Okay, so in this living room, we also have a lot more details on our wall, like dirt and just things falling apart. I mean, this house is literally a hole in the ground technically, right? So I feel like that's pretty realistic in here. And we have a bunch of clutter up here, and of course some more books and things. A little cleaning bucket, I love that, it's so cute. Little details, pillows on the couch, an open book on the table. But our sim is testing the bathroom. Whoops, that's a weird angle. So I just wanted to come and check it out, and then you guys can see the bathroom. Same thing, details on the wall, very worn, very dirty. We're using the sink and shower from the, what is that name? It's like the Go Camping pack. Oh my god. Outdoor retreat? That might be it. Oh my god. Go camping. Ah, awful. Okay, but this is the bathroom. On the other wall, we just have artwork and a towel and a little lamp here. Oh my god. This sim is just so good at playtesting. I don't even have to tell her what to do. Here is our bedroom. Again, we have some exposed brick in here. We have lots of holes and cracks on the wall. I love like the different kinds of artworks, the fairy lights, the big mirror. This bed is also from Outdoor Retreat. I loved using it in this like dark green bluish swatch. And then over here some more clutter, another spider web, and over here is like a little cross stitch corner, I guess, just a little hobby corner. I guess you can like turn this into anything you really want. But even more clutter over there. Maybe I should see if you can sit here. You can. Okay, that is good. One other thing I want to see is if you can come up here and maybe do some planting. Always ruining the vibes. The outfit is like it's set to an everyday outfit, so I don't know why she keeps changing. Oh, maybe it's hot. Oh, well, don't care right now. Really don't. Let me see. Do I have any plants in here? I do not. So you are going to have to purchase some seeds. Let's do some starter herbs this time. And we will open that seed packet. Boom. What do we get? We got some basil. Fun. Alright, so I'm going to stick them in one of these. And we are going to see if our sim can plant up here and have a little garden. It's not much of a garden. There isn't much lot space here, which kind of sucks. I guess if you really wanted to like move some of these things around or get rid of some of the landscaping, you could probably find places to plant, but I really liked how tiny and just in the ground this whole build felt like. Okay, we've got 3 out of 4. Usually, recently, the last one gives me trouble, so let's see. Yay. Okay, great. So that all works, you know, just for fun. I'll water and we'll figure that out. But then the last thing I also want to try, I don't think this coming up here is going to be possible, but I'm also very curious to see if it is. I don't expect it to be. I more so put it there for like decoration. Oh my god. Oh, you tricked me. Yeah, that doesn't work. That's okay. I'm not too mad about it. I use Tool a lot over there. Alright, and because we're all done playtesting, this build is now up on my gallery under Tiny Hobbit Hole in case you guys are looking for it. Alright, and just like that, today's video is a wrap. Thank you guys for watching, and of course a big shout out to my channel members for supporting me in this way. It truly means the world. And I guess I will chat with you all in the next one. Bye! So this just happened while I was getting ready to take some screenshots. Rest in peace, Vlad. Oh my god, and seeing a gnome witness this is kind of really funny. Why is he still cute when he's sad? Aww. It's okay. You didn't even know him yet.